XJ Talk Show.
It's on.
Now.
Well, good evening, and it's another Wednesday night, 8 p.m. or thereabouts, Central Time. My name is Tony. I'm Moderator on xjtalk.com, and this is Jeep Cherokee XJ Talk. This is Jeep Cherokee xjtalk.com show. Just messing around with the audio settings. Hopefully everything's sounding all right. For some reason, there was several changes. And nobody else uses this computer but me, so I don't know why it was different. Hopefully I've got it set back and everything sounds like it normally does, which hopefully is good. Anyway, we have a pre-recorded interview with Mark, Payless4x4 from xjtalk.com, and we'll be playing that here shortly after we cover a few odds and ends. We'll get the show started in just a moment. xjtalk.com show is brought to you by Jeepin' Outfitters. From tow rigs to trail rigs to daily drivers, we'll get you outfitted. See all of what Jeepin' Outfitters has to offer at jeepinoutfitters.com or call 972-221-5286.
xjtalk.com.
xjtalk.com.
It's where you go when you're not off-road.
Hey, how would you like to advertise on XJ Talk Show and reach a worldwide Jeep audience? Just send an email to advertise@xjtalk.com for more information. Do you have questions or comments that you would like played on the air? We've set up voicemail just for that purpose. All you have to do is call 530-675-4102. Just leave your name, your location, and your question or comment. Chances are good it'll get played on the air. That number again is 530-675-4102. We look forward to hearing from you today.
Hello, this is Kurt, aka Weldman from Wisconsin. If you're looking to get some great information or share what you know about your XJ, and you need to see some pictures of other XJs to get some great ideas or how-tos, this is the place. We come from all over the world, so you might even make a few great friends. You won't find a better group of people to chat with, and best of all, we don't judge you for your ride, so stock or super modified, you are always welcome here. So look no further, xjtalk.com, the place you need to be. So sign up, sign in, and have some fun.
Okay, guys, well, that's our filler for the first few minutes there. Well, I don't know if you guys heard or not, but certainly not Jeep related, but interesting. I don't know if you guys heard or not, but a few days ago, Osama bin Laden was captured and killed. So looks like what do you think? A couple of $1 trillion that we spent to go out and rid the world of the terrorists that took down the Twin Towers. Money well spent. Only 10 years. No, I'm glad because so long the nation, the United States as a nation has let criminals just pretty much go and do what they want to do as long as they weren't in the United States. And I guess to a large degree, even if they were in the United States, there was people getting away with stuff, and it continues to happen. Our system isn't perfect, but it's probably better than any other system that's out there. Maybe not as gratifying. The eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth can be, I guess, a little more gratifying at times, unless it's your eye or tooth that was taken away from you without due process and you actually didn't do the crime. So, like I say, it just really depends. It's the best system we have so far. I'm sure it'll get better over time as technology improves. But anyway, they got bin Laden. And I don't know if you guys have been following the tech news or not, but kind of interesting development with Skype, a service that we use here to take phone calls. I guess technically it wouldn't be a phone call, but calls that would be like a telephone call. Skype that allows you to do voice over IP. I was trying to decide between voice over IP or saying VoIP. Anyway, it allows you to do voice over IP, which is across the internet. And Microsoft bought Skype. What was it? I guess they announced it yesterday. They bought Skype for $8.5 billion. Billion with a B, not with an M, because that would be million. $8.5 billion. It amazes me how many billions of dollars are being made on the internet and why I haven't either thought of a good idea or followed through on a good idea. I just keep playing with stuff like this show and my Jeep website, and I don't think anybody's going to come up and offer me a $1 billion for xjtalk.com. It could happen, I suppose. Just have to get a lot more people. Maybe I'll do a free Jeep XJ giveaway if the site gets bought for $1 billion. How's that? I bet you I could buy a bunch of Jeep XJs and outfit them and give them away and still have several $100 million left over. That would be pretty cool. We'd have a mandatory get together in like the center of the United States or my house probably every year. Everybody would have to show up. So this is, let's see, just looking over here in the chat room. What do we have going on here? We got Hooked on XJs. We've got Jeep 4x4 Hunter. I think Jeep 4x4 Hunter is new. And we've got Argonard, which is Rini. And welcome, guys. Scott was in here earlier. Maybe he got in trouble and had to go do something for his wife, but or maybe he's in here as a guest, but I did see him in here earlier. But thanks for showing up, guys. Yeah, I was thinking Jeep 4x400 just says I'm new. I posted on the wall wanting to know the link and on Facebook, and I had told him what the link was and what the showtime was, and glad you could show up. Mark is actually, we recorded the interview last Friday. Mark was here, but he said that he didn't have speakers for his PC, and I thought he was kidding. He said he was hoping it was going to be closed captioned. And it's enough just to get this much of it done, much less closed caption. So I think when he found that he wasn't going to be able to hear the show, he checked out. So anyway, don't have a lot of people in to ask questions. Rini, what's up with you? You been doing anything interesting? Rini had asked in the chat room, is Mark going to be live? And Rini says that he's working on the heap. Well, at least you're not having to work on yours like Patrick, PCR Jeep, is having to work on his. In fact, I don't know that... oh, wow. We're actually in a big drought here in Texas. And I think that we're actually getting some rain, according to Rini. Rini's up around Conroe, which is about, 20 miles north of Houston. So that's pretty good that you're actually getting rain up there. Yesterday, not yesterday, I heard on the news earlier that we may be getting some severe weather. I know. They promised us before, and it didn't happen. But that's what I saw on the news there about 45 minutes ago. they're getting all kinds of bad weather in the central states, eastern states, and unusually we haven't been getting any here. So it's kind of weird. But I guess those weather patterns happen. It's all because of Al Gore. We're being punished. If we hadn't have given Al Gore the Pulitzer, no, is it a Pulitzer? No, the Nobel Peace Prize. Yeah, it must have been the Peace Prize. I don't remember. He got an award for an inconvenient truth. And apparently it was so inconvenient, they decided to make up the data. So as I stated earlier, Mark, Payless4x4, is going to be our guest tonight. The interview was pre-recorded. It's about a 30-minute interview, and we're going to play that. It'll let you get to know Mark a little better. It will also let you get to know Payless4x4, which is a vendor of xjtalk.com. And they are in California, but they have a lot of things that they can get and send nationwide. So perhaps even worldwide. I guess it really just depends on how much you're willing to pay for shipping, because we all know how bad shipping is these days, especially with gas prices. Oh, I did post something earlier about gas prices. It seems that there's been a huge drop in the price of a barrel of oil. It has dropped below $100 a barrel. I think it got down to around $97 and then went back up a little bit. Apparently, they halted trading on oil because it was dropping so quickly, and I didn't believe that it was. I didn't believe that it was high. I'm sorry, I didn't believe that it was. I believed it was artificially high, and it seems to have been, at least by the drop. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. And Rini was asking me if I could turn on the links. Rini, actually, I made you a moderator, so you have the ability to do that. If you see that little gear next to the little stick figure or a little cartoon image of a person, if you click on that gear, then you can turn the links on and off, allow links or not allow links. And if you start seeing people post up things, which we don't have a bunch of people here, but if you start seeing a bunch of people posting links, you can turn those off. Generally, what I do, if I'm a moderator on another Ustream show, I'll allow the links, put in the links that I'm going to post in the chat room, and then turn them back off because people will try to jump in there and start putting up links to different various things that take away from the takes away from the show. Okay, well, without further ado, let's get the interview with Mark going here. Again, this is Mark, Payless4x4, with Payless4x4, and he works for a company that is a vendor for xjtalk.com. Well, hey, Mark, thanks for joining us tonight. It's very nice of you to agree to do an interview with us. Mark is a member on xjtalk.com, and he goes by Payless4x, or would that be 4x?
4x.
Okay. That would be a nice thing where if we actually had some way of talking on the site where we could say and understand some of these names, or people would say them and then I wouldn't have to just guess at them. I always look at that, and I think I've always kind of said it in my head, Payless 4x4, but it doesn't have the second 4. So anyway, again, Mark, thanks for joining us.
No problem. Glad to be here.
Now, you're actually located in California, correct?
Correct. We're in Chico, California. For those of you who just want a quick view of where I'm at, I'm about 2 hours north of Sacramento, about 3 hours south of the Oregon border, 4 hours from the California coast, and about 3 hours from Reno, or the Rubicon, if you'd like to go there.
Ooh. Yeah, I was actually, today when I was trying to do my my time zone calculation, so I knew when we were going to be doing this interview, I was trying to find a major city because Paradise was not on the time zone converter.
Paradise is not, if you look it up on the internet, you will find it.
Yeah.
Paradise is not something you can drive by. You physically have to drive to it, and you have to, make the cutoff, and you go to Paradise. You don't just drive through or drive around. The two big freeways here, the 99 and the 5. The 5 is probably 35, 40 miles away from me. The 99, of course, is our closest freeway, 2-lane freeway. You saw that in the pictures I posted the other day on my way to work.
Beautiful pictures.
And basically, you just go up a street we call Skyway, and it takes you up into paradise. From Chico to where I live, of course, is about a 2,200-foot climb. At the base of paradise, you're at about anywhere between 1,600 and 1,800 feet, and there's only 3 roads into paradise.
Well, it may be argued there's only one way to paradise.
Well, if you want to look at it that way, you're right. There is only one way to paradise, but, those of us that are Christians look at it, that live in paradise, look at it this way. We're already in paradise, so when we die, we don't have to change our zip code.
I'm sure there's all kinds of fun and sayings you guys are sick of hearing. And
well, let
me
me just clear this up, because everybody always says paradise, but for those of you who want a little historic value to the town, the original name of the town back in the early or late 1800s is Paradise. The largest gold nugget ever on record, was found in the town of Paradise, a little place called Whiskey Flats, 54-pound gold nugget. In fact, we just celebrated Gold Nugget Days last weekend.
Everybody brought out their gold nugget, right?
No, but you did have a chance to win one if you joined the raffle. We do a little parade and whatnot, and it's just kind of it's a small town thing, and everybody goes out and either is in the parade or watches the parade. It used to be a joke years ago that everybody in Paradise was in the parade, so we had to have people from Chico come in to watch it. But no, it was Paradise, and Skyway was basically a mud road, and the only thing on either side was assay offices, houses, and bars. That was it. And the idea was to catch the miners coming down off the mountain before they got down to Chico to get the money.
Oh, of course.
So there's your history lesson for today.
Wow. So paradise found, paradise lost.
There you go.
Or vice versa.
Many people lost quite a bit up there, I'm afraid.
So now Steve, one of our moderators on XJ Talk 4.3 LXJ, he's somewhere close by, right?
Yeah, he's, I guess from here you would say he's south of me, probably, 20 miles at the most.
Oh, that's not bad. That's not bad at all.
No, he comes into town, and he stops by every once in a while and says hi.
Has he, I don't know if he's gotten the flux capacitor yet, but if he has, have you been on any time trips?
No, I haven't done any time trips with Steve yet. That could be interesting.
If you guys aren't familiar, have a look at Steve, 4.3 LXJ's Jeep. He's got some cooling fans. He's actually got a couple little radiators underneath his hood, I think, for the oil. And he's got these fans bolted to the top of his hood. And I told him all he needs is a flux capacitor, and he could, go places with that Jeep.
Well, I tell you, it does look strange. I'll give you that.
Oh, I like
Steve,
it.
I'm not picking on you, but an idea.
I like it. I think
Heck of an idea.
It really looks cool, pardon the pun, for the cooling.
Well, it's good for that, but it also pulls that hot air off the motor and out too. So it actually is working more than what what it was originally designed to do.
Yeah, I think he was originally trying to keep the rear head gaskets from blowing on him. I think that was getting too hot in the back, if I remember correctly.
I'm not real sure. I know that when he put that 4.3 in there, it caused a lot of different issues as far as heating and that kind of a thing goes. But it's a good run little Jeep now, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that's kind of a bad thing. When we start modifying our Jeeps, we do find issues that our enthusiasm creates. Mm-hmm. Like I've been having problems with the heat creep on the highway, and fighting that issue. So when you start changing the dynamics of your vehicle, it could be more challenging. It could be very rewarding, but it also could be more challenging.
Well, you have to also keep in mind that, and this is a Jeep thing, and Payless 4-wheel drive, I deal with Jeeps every day, day in and day out. Every single Jeep out there has inherent issues, okay? Cherokees are known for overheating. That's just the way they are. And my biggest thing, one of the things that I've worked on a lot, is striving to find different ways to keep it cool. Mm-hmm. And to be able to get it to run cooler. I've got, spacers on the back of my hood. I've got a 4-inch deck plate cut in the center of the hood so that the hot air can escape through there. Finally got around just today to wiring my auxiliary fan up the way I wanted it, so it runs all the time. The biggest thing on those things, especially the older ones, the Renix era, pre-HO, would be maintenance. And that's just keeping up on that maintenance. When that little reservoir bottle in the back corner back there, and those of you with Renix Jeeps know what I'm talking about, when that thing starts to look like it's going to crack or it turns funny colors, get rid of it. Get a new one. They're not that expensive. I think we sell them here for like $27, $28.
Yep, and they can't be very heavy, so the shipping on it wouldn't be that bad.
No, not at all. The overall, probably to you, I've shipped a few things down there, I'd probably say $8, $9. They're light.
Right.
And that little bottle right there can absolutely destroy your motor, destroy your Jeep, and cause you many, many, many hours of grief if it goes away.
Yeah, if you if it overflows and it just goes on the ground, that means it's not going to go back into your cooling system, and that means you're going to run low on coolant, and things are going to get hot. It's
going to get ugly in a hurry.
Yep.
And we'll let the smoke out.
And you bring up an interesting point that I wanted to make. I was very surprised. You're pretty low key on the site. I mean, you're in there and mixing it up, but as far as pushing what you do with the company you work for, you really don't go out of your way to, I guess, bore people with the details. And I think that's a bit of a detriment, not necessarily to your company, but the folks on the site, because either chatting with Mark on the phone, or I think we started on the site about some parts, and he says, "Oh, I can get that," and "Oh, yeah, I can get that," and I'm like, "My God, you can get anything," and come to find out that's about probably 99% true. So, won't you tell us a little bit about that, Mark?
Okay, here I'll give you a rundown. Payless 4-wheel drive basically is owned by one guy, my boss. I guess you could call me the general manager. We are a California state certified smog station. We're a gold shield station, which puts us above normal stations. We are listed with the state of California as a hard-to-find parts locator for smog parts. We're also the Consumer Assistance Program, the Vroom Program. Both of those are for low-income people who can't afford to have their car smogged. Again, this program takes over and pays it for them so that they can. I have 3 smog techs. Actually, they're master techs, ASE certified master techs that work out in the shop. We do everything here from fabrication to repair to, just basically anything. As far as parts I can get, I carry in stock carburetors for 1946 Willys with flatheads I've got Cherokee fan shrouds here. Basically, in my years of working here, I think there's probably been 3 parts that I have not been able to find, and that's encompassing everything, from smog parts to Jeep parts to, just regular car parts. I mean, if somebody out there in their particular state needs something for their vehicle to get it smogged, give me a call, because I probably got it, and if I don't have it, I know where to get it. And it's pretty, I carry builder parts here, too. I know a lot of the guys out there, have Toyotas on the sideline, or they're building this, or their friends are building Toyotas. I'm a trail gear dealer. Used to be a Rubicon dealer until they went away. Basically, I deal with probably close to 30 lift kit companies. All of I named a few the other day when we were online talking about, diff covers. The guys at Rough Stuff are really good friends of mine. Mike at up there at, I can't even think of the name of that place now, but, Sky at Sky's place. All these guys are people that I deal with day in and day out. And just, you guys got needs or something you want, you got a question you want answered. I've posted, several different things on the site before that I'll strip right out of all data, and I'll just do a copy and paste and put it up there. It's not a big thing.
Yeah, I didn't realize
we're here to help. We're not here to push. I'm an XJ guy, and always have been, always will be. Something about wheeling a unibody and watching the doors not close after you flex real good. It's exciting. No, mine's not red, but hey, life goes on.
Oh, this is like I posted earlier today. Aren't they all really red underneath?
They could be. They could be. Could be.
But
I don't know if you saw the post I made in the Great Green XJ thread.
Maybe.
you had made a post something to the effect of, I like brown, I like the dark colors, I like
any of those colors.
Well, I posted a picture of my Jeep underneath that going, brown, woodsy, green?
That's right.
How's this?
Right. Yeah, that camo.
Yes, sir.
I still say I'd like to have a digital camo wrap on mine, if the paint got real bad on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, digital camo would look really cool.
You want to hear a cute story about the camo?
Sure, go right ahead.
I'm colorblind. Everybody knows that. Everybody online knows that. You should. If not, yes, I am colorblind. I do not do wiring. I don't do electrical. So when I did my fan thing today, yes, I had somebody point out wires to me. But anyway, my wife had come up to me one day and she said, "Hey man, we ought to paint the Jeep. It's looking kind of sour right now." And I said, "Okay, fine." And she says, "I'll go get the paint." And I said, "Cool." So she went down and got the paint. The kids and I on a Saturday went out there and we masked off the Jeep. Came home from church on Sunday, handed each one of the kids a can of paint. I lit the barbecue, and they painted the Jeep, and that's the way it came out. And it makes no difference to me. It looks good. That's how the Jeep became camo.
Wow. I don't know. I don't have any concept of being colorblind. I think there's some stuff on the internet that you can see what the colorblind people see or don't see, or how they see it, I should say.
It's it's one of those things, and I'm probably not the worst that you can be. And my colorblindness was actually caused by an accident. It's not from birth.
Oh, that's interesting.
So yes, I do remember what colors look like. I do remember what certain colors are. If somebody says, "Oh, that's really green," yes, I can picture in my mind that color, but my eye doesn't see it.
Did it put you off certain foods that just didn't look right anymore?
No, I still love green beans. I still love okra. Sorry, spinach. I'm right there.
Mm-hmm. Well,
but yeah, it does look kind of funny when you're looking down at these little gray things in your bowl. It's
Is it the fried okra or I don't know what they call it, kind of the soupy okra?
I like pickled okra, stewed okra, fried okra. Pretty much all of it, yeah.
Because I'm there with you on the fried okra. But like I've been telling people, I think you could fry a doorknob and it would still taste good.
Well, I got hooked on pickled okra. I went to visit some relatives of mine in Pauls Valley, Oklahoma, which is just south of Oklahoma City. And all of a sudden we hear these big sirens going off. And I'd never in my life been in a tornado before. Never. And these sirens go off, and Gramps looks over and says, "Yeah, we got to get to the storm cellar." So we all run out back, and we open up the doors, and we go down to the storm cellar. And, it's kind of dark down there. You got a little punch light on, and we're just sitting there, and all of a sudden everybody hears this pop noise, and I'm like, that was a little loud. Well, I found out where Grandma kept her pickled beets and pickled okra. I basically ate through the tornado. I figured if I was going happy and full.
That's great.
I'm a big boy. I like to eat.
So did you get because I was going to ask you about that, if they'd ever seen a tornado there, because, being in Tornado Alley, did you see a tornado while you were there, or did you just...
2 of them.
Wow.
I'd never been in a tornado before in my entire life. I lived in Southern California. I've shaken and had earthquakes with the best of them, which I really feel for Wayne, because I tell you what, an earthquake to me is really scary, because you can't predict it. You don't know when it's coming. You don't know how long it's going to last. And, it'll make you stripe your rompers in a hurry.
Yeah, exactly. But, I'll take a hurricane because you can
tornadoes, I tell you, like I said, never been through one of those, been through blizzards, whiteouts, all that. But when you hear that roar and that rumble, and it sounds like a freight train is just fixing to go over the top of the house, and it's still a half a mile away, no, that's, nope, no thank you, don't want one.
That's interesting. I didn't know they were that loud that far away.
I tell you, it may not have been a half mile, but man, it was loud.
Well,
it scared me to death.
I would like to think that it was a half mile away and that loud if I was in that situation then.
Well, this is when we were still, up in the house and whatnot, and the sirens were going off, and you just hear this big, huge, rumbling, noisy, oh, man.
Oh, see, I didn't know that's how it worked. I thought there was just, hey, there's one on the ground, you guys need to be aware of it. Well, let's saunter down to the pickled beets and stuff and wait for it.
Nobody was really sauntering in that case.
No, not if you can hear it coming. You're not sauntering.
I'm 6'4", 300 pounds, and to be quite honest with you, I pretty much look like a scared 7-year-old schoolgirl running. No problem.
Well, at least you could get that fear out of your head by enjoying the food. Did you enjoy the pickled okra before, or do you think that
I'd never had it before?
Do you think that terror is now a comfort food for you?
It very well could be. I don't know. You try to find pickled okra here in California, and people look at you like, you want what?
It's a very southern thing, I believe.
They have absolutely no idea. Most people don't even know what okra is. My wife refers to it as the hairy vegetable.
Yeah.
And really doesn't like. She makes it for me, but it's not one of her favorite things to make for me.
My dad would eat the fried okra. That's the only reason why I knew anything about it, because it wasn't something that was very common. I mean, I don't know if you guys have Luby's, Wyatt's, the cafeterias, where the lines and you can pick what you want. I always loved the cafeteria because you go in and it's ready. All you have to do is get it and sit down and eat it. Anyway, Luby's always had the fried okra, and I was usually getting that, and really enjoyed the fried okra. Not so much the other stuff, with the other okra creations.
Well, we do have, the cafeterias, or here a lot of people call them smorgasbords, or depending upon where you're at. You just walk in, you go through the big long line with your tray and grab whatever you want. But, pickled okra, nothing you're going to find. Catfish, it's not happening.
Oh, really?
Oh, no. My wife does catfish just absolutely perfect. In fact, we have to go into our local Save Mart up here and actually ask them to bring catfish in because it's not something they normally stock. And unfortunately, I don't have enough time to fish all the time that I want to, so I don't get as much catfish as I like to eat.
Now, she's got to like the catfish.
Oh, she loves catfish.
I can't see how anybody wouldn't like catfish. Catfish is very good.
Well, I mean, she's a I wouldn't say native California girl. She's born in Warren, Michigan. That's a whole other story. We won't go there right now. But she has done a wonderful job of learning and experimenting with Southern style cooking, and she's mastered the red beans and rice, and I'm really grateful for that. And she's got the catfish down, fried and blackened. So she keeps my waist right where I like it.
Hush puppies with that catfish?
From time to time we get hush puppies.
Oh,
time to time. Puppies. Not it's kind of a treat kind of thing. She still tries to keep me as healthy as possible.
Well, that's a good sign. That means she wants you around.
Well, I'm not saying that. I just, when I was back in Oklahoma visiting people, I was back there for 3 weeks, and I gained probably 20 pounds.
So it was a good visit then.
It was an awesome visit, but I got to hand it to the women back there, and Grandma, she'd get up in the morning and she'd be up at 4 making breakfast because there had to be hot biscuits at every meal, and after the breakfast dishes were done, she'd start cooking lunch because you had to have cobbler and for lunch, and then for supper you'd have to have a pie or another cobbler or whatever it was. So
I can't believe you didn't move.
That's a long day.
Yes, it is. That's a lot of work.
We're back to the tornadoes again. That's why I wasn't moving.
I don't know. I don't think they happen that often, and the food is cooked every day.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. No, I'm kind of a mountain guy. I always liked the mountains, like living in the mountains, and I feel at home there. I feel very comfortable. Even with all the little things that we have that most people would say, "Holy, how do you live with that?" I look out my back door in the morning, and I go out and sit down on the porch and smoke a cigarette and drink a cup of coffee, and I've got 4 or 5 does walking within 20 feet of me. But along with that comes the lions and the bears and all the other little friendly critters that hang out up there.
Yeah, I guess it's like most anything. You learn where to go and what to do, and everything gets along, so to speak. I'm sure there's incidents when it doesn't, but for the most part, I'm sure it does. Otherwise, people wouldn't live there, or those creatures wouldn't be there for very long.
Oh, yeah, it's, deer in town, they're not dumb. They know when hunting season is, and they know that you can't shoot them within town limits, so they come in and hang out in town.
Smart.
And people actually feed them and name them. Not that my wife would ever do anything like that, but yeah.
That's going to be a little depressing when they don't show up the next year, though.
Yeah, well, this year is one of those years. So we had one that his mother and his sister were killed on the street by a car. He had a big cut, and at that time, our middle daughter was studying to be a veterinary, and she took him in, sewed him up, and we kind of raised him in his back pen, and then this doe came by, and they baited each other for a while, and boom, she adopted him. Well, he grew up, and his nickname or name was Scar, and he ended up being, about an 8-pointer last time I saw him. But, I mean, he was just as docile as your dog. He'd walk right up to you, and, you could pet him and feed him and everything else. And this year he didn't come back. So I'm assuming he's probably somebody's jerky someplace.
Well, that's what happens. I mean,
oh yeah, it don't bother me. It's a circle of life. Trust me.
Yeah, and at least he had he was taken care of, and he had a little enjoyment as at the same time you guys did. So
absolutely.
So getting back to Payless 4x. Well, actually, I'd like to know, if you don't mind talking about it, how's the boss doing? Your boss was injured here recently.
Yeah, he had an argument with his backhoe. He got caught between the boom and the leg, and ended up breaking 5 bones in his pelvis on Sunday, the Sunday before Easter. And on Thursday after that, they decided that they had to go in and do surgery on him. And so they pinned and screwed and bolted all that up. And he went home on Saturday so he could spend it with his wife and kids. And I talked to him on the phone 2 or 3 times a day, so he keeps in touch with what's going on down here. Recovery's going along well. Not supposed to be out of bed probably as much as he is, but you just have to know Bill to know that he's not going to be just laying down in bed and waiting.
Right.
He's a go-getter. I me's an older guy, but I'll put him up against any 30-year-old anytime, any place, anywhere. He's just that kind of guy.
So they're expecting a full recovery?
Yeah, he should be fine. They're saying he's not going to, won't be able to come back to work for 3 months. But it's going to be full recovery, but some of his hobbies may or may not be able to enjoy to the fullest. I don't know if he'll be able to do the snowmobiling anymore because of the jarring around of the snowmobile.
Right.
Same thing with horseback riding. He's an avid diver, scuba diver. And he should be able to do that without any issues. So, he might lose a couple, but he'll get most of it back.
Might keep him together longer in the long run.
Yeah, good, very possible. I mean, he's very active. Like I say, for his age, he is in. I just hope I'm in that kind of physical condition when I get to be his age, because he's a go-getter. He's a go-getter. Been a wheeler for, I can't even tell you. Probably close to 40, 50 years.
Jeep guy or different?
He's a Jeeper. He's a hardcore Jeeper. He's got a 46 Willys with a 302. It's got a 4-speed in it, and actually one of the first people to ever put a V8 inside of an old Willys and stuff 44s underneath it. In its day, it was quite the creation.
I bet.
And very avid into some of the different runs that we have over here. Sierra Trek is one of them. I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Sierra Trek or not, but it's a run that we have here in California, and he was very instrumental in keeping that thing going for many, many years. Very into the Butte County Search and Rescue, and has destroyed his Jeep a couple times with that, but always went back and put it all back together again. So, all in all, I think he's going to be fine. Now, currently, our shop rig, unfortunately, is a Toyota. I know everybody says boo now. But we have a 94 Toyota with all the Tom Long stuff on it, the dual cases, and running 38-inch tires. And he actually, he's 64 years old. He actually goes out and wheels it on rock courses. So there you have it.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of fun. It's a real pretty area. I don't blame you for wanting to live there in the mountainous area. I've lived in the Houston area, Southeast Texas area all my life, and that's one of the things that always impresses me when we go to West Texas. Certainly the few times I've been to California, seeing things that are much bigger than the molehills that we have here in Texas, even in West Texas. Very impressive, very interesting scenery. And of course, it's nice to be able to go from different environments. Just all you have to do is drive a little bit, and you can go from 70, 80 degrees to cooler, and I guess even freezing, depending on how high you go.
Well, here we have, from where I live up into the High Lakes, we call them the High Lakes. It's actually an off-road area that it's legal for us to go into. It's probably 45 minutes from my door to get to it. And, yeah, it can go from, say, it's probably 90 degrees in Paradise. By the time you get up there and get into it, you're down in the 70s again. And as a matter of fact, right now, you really can't even get to it because it's still under about 10, 12 feet of snow. The other thing is the Rubicon. I'm 3 hours away from the Rubicon. Hollister, I don't know if anybody's ever heard of Hollister or not before, but I'm probably an hour or 2 hours away from Hollister, maybe a little bit more. Just Steve, correct me on the chat thing if I'm wrong there. The other side of the hill, if you were to take your hand and put your hand down on the thing and look at your fingers, basically when we say the hill, there's different fingers that go up, okay? And each of these fingers is a lava molten flow that's actually, hardened over the years, and you drive up and down them now, but Paradise is on one of them, and then Forest Hills on another one, and then you have Cohasset, and the Ishi Wilderness, which I've not been up to as much as I'd like to, and Steve showed me some pictures of that. They like to go up and wheel up in the Ishi Wilderness, and if anybody knows the story of Ishi at all, last of his tribe, come on, somebody has to know that one. This is actually where Ishi, the last of his tribe, is from. And we have the Ishi Wilderness and actual Indian graveyards and burials up in there that you can actually drive by and see when you're out on the trail. So getting to a trail from here, not a problem.
That's
not
great.
A problem. We have plenty of wheeling going on up here all the time.
Yeah, that's one of the things that kind of rubbed me the wrong way. We were driving out into West Texas Bandera area, and there's so many beautiful places to take the Jeep, and there was fences everywhere. And I wasn't familiar with the area, and there may have been places to go, but just from where I was on the small, I won't call them freeways, but the small 2-lane roads that we were on, there was no way to get to it. It was all fenced. I couldn't believe there must be billions of dollars of fences that were put up in Texas. Kind of sad to have a capable vehicle and not be able to take it wherever you want to see.
Anytime you want to come up here, I'll make it have a workout.
Well, that's just it. I can't take my Jeep to California, can I?
Why not?
It wouldn't be legal in California.
Doesn't matter. You can come here to visit.
Oh, can you?
Oh, yeah.
That was one of the things I wondered about. I thought, now I've fenced myself in by doing these things because it's not legal. And
unless you were actually going to become a resident of California, okay, then no big thing. You can drive through here anytime you want to.
I had not checked on it, but I was concerned about that. I thought, now I get this thing all set up the way I like it, and I'd like to go here and there. And
No, you can bring it in here. You just drive it right in, just like you would any other vehicle. Nobody stops and checks and says, okay, this. The only time that you would have to do a smog inspection, and we don't do vehicle inspections here in California, okay? I completely agree with vehicle inspections, simply because of the fact that there are so many people out there driving around, the brakes don't work, steering wheel's in the back seat. So I do agree with those because a vehicle should be safe.
Right.
But, no, we don't do any of that here. A smog inspection would only be if you decided to live here in the state of California. And you can go as far in this state, and I've heard of this happening, but you can carry dual license plates on your vehicle. And if you're a resident of Texas and California, you could run both plates on your vehicle, and as long as you pass California smog, you're golden.
Interesting. Well, good, because I knew there were several states. I'd looked at some of the lift laws, and I think Utah is pretty bad about mud flaps. And there was some really interesting things that I had read. I think there's some states out there that you can't go over 2 inches or 3 inches above stock. And I thought
somebody on the forum the other day was saying something about that anything over 2 inches is illegal. I found that very crazy because here, and again, I wish I had more pictures that I could post up because nobody out there, I'm sure, sees what I see. And Steve and Nismo can vouch for me that when you leave the town of Chico, where I'd say 1 in every 10 cars is a wheeler, and you go up to Paradise, Magalia, Sterling City, Forest Ranch, it's probably 8 in every 10 cars is a wheeler.
Oh, that's nice.
And, people say, well, how come you don't get pulled over for mud flaps, or how come you don't get harassed for this, that, and the other thing? Well, I live in Paradise.
Yeah, they'd be busy all the time.
Oh, yeah, there's no way. And to be honest with you, I actually wheel with 4 guys that are on the Paradise PD, and they have some of the most awesome rigs that you would ever imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, they just lead me around by the nose on a regular basis. Now, we do have one particular California Highway Patrolman that doesn't like wheelers and likes to pull us over when we're on Skyway. It's kind of a thing where you shoot Skyway as quickly as possible without breaking the speed limit and drawing attention to yourself, because if this one particular lady is there, guaranteed you get pulled over.
Yeah,
she don't like wheelers.
There's something wrong with that.
And she'll get you for anything she can, from mud flaps to whatever. And that's just her thing. And yeah, there's something seriously wrong with that, because she has nothing better to do, but it's the way it is.
Yeah, I understand. It's abuse of power. So,
and there you have it.
Mm-hmm. So, well, was there anything else that you wanted to cover about Payless 4x? I don't want to gloss over that, because, like I said, I was really impressed with everything.
I want to invite everybody
out
there that if they have a need, give me a shot at it. No matter what it is. And I know a lot of you guys have emailed me and so forth and so on, and I think I've been pretty straight with everybody. If you say, hey, can you beat this price? And I can't beat it, I'm going to be up front. That's just the way I am. No, I can't. Buy it. If you can get it that cheap, buy it. If I can beat that price, I'll let you know. And just anything under the sun, don't be afraid to ask. If you think it's crazy or, hey, they don't make that anymore, you'd be surprised what's here.
How do you prefer to be contacted? Would you rather have a phone call, an email, or a private message on the board?
You can use the 800 number. You can email me, private message on the board. I try to keep XJ Talk up most of the day, just off and on. Just, say hi to people, or, old Jim, he says hi every once in a while. And, of course, Bear, So, I try to hang out and just say hi to these guys that I, have become friends with, I guess. You could say that. And, so however they want to do it. So I'm good with it.
So it's, if you guys don't already know, I'm sure you do, but anyway, it's Payless 4-wheel drive. And Mark goes by Payless4x or 4x. And like you said, he's on the site most of the day, so you can send him a private message, or you can call him at their 800 number and ask for him. It's 800-345-4294. 800-345-4294. What hours are you there, Mark?
Well, of course, California time, but I'm here from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. So
8 to 6 Pacific time, Monday through Friday. Well, Mark, thanks a lot. I think the interview went really well, and hope the guys enjoy it, and I hope they start using you a little more and finding out the great deals and great parts that I know I got whenever I rebuilt my NP242.
There you go. Fun transfer case right there.
Well, thanks again.
Not a problem. I enjoyed it. And like I say, you guys need something, just want to say hi, give me a call. 800 number, it's free to you. Call me.
And there you have the interview with Mark. And as we said there on the tail end of the interview, you can reach him at the 800 number, or you can PM him, which is a private message. If you're an xjtalk.com member, you can just send Mark a private message. And his name on xjtalk.com is Payless4x, which is actually a Payless space 4 and then the letter X. It is not case sensitive, so you don't have to worry about that. So anyway, as I was putting in the chat room during the playing of the interview, I'll have the various ways that you can contact Mark in the show notes. And if you're not familiar with the podcast that is available after the live show, it is at podcasts.xjtalk.com. and also available on iTunes. So the show notes should be available at both of those locations. If you're not an xjtalk.com member, I encourage you to join up. It's free, and you can interact with people. You can interact with Mark, and Rini, our moderator. Rini is Argonard's real first name, but he goes by R. Goodnard, RGUIGNARD, and he's a moderator on xjtalk.com and actually moderating the chat room tonight for us. So thank you very much for that, Rini. We have a new person that came in from our Facebook account, which is, God, what is that? Let me just play this because I don't remember. I have it all set up where I just go there. But here, I'll play this about our Facebook and Twitter account.
Did you know that xjtalk.com is on Facebook? Just go to facebook.com/xjtalk and friend us. We're also on Twitter, twitter.com/xjtalk.
Wow, it doesn't get much simpler than that. So it's just facebook.com/xjtalk or twitter.com/xjtalk, which I'm sure you can just, if you're already on Twitter, you can just do @xjtalk and send us messages. You know, I've learned this is the first time I've worn a hat while doing the show, and I keep hitting the little call sign flag here on the mic boom. So I may have to do like the kids do and put the hat to the side or turn it all the way around. No, I'm not going to do that. Hey, there's XJ Rat. Thanks for joining us. Glad you could jump in for the head count, so to speak. I think we've got about 3 times more people on the show this week. And that's my fault. I haven't been recording shows with guests. I've just kind of been winging it. Last week was the what are you going to do when you're evacuating with your Jeep and the unruly mob is trying to take it away from you. And I think it scared some people. But it's a concern that I have because of what I went through with the past hurricane threat that we had with Hurricane Rita, just the one right after Katrina. But if you haven't thought about that as far as what would you do if you were evacuating with your Jeep, or even in any kind of emergency situation, I urge you to go and have a listen to that past podcast. That was last week's show, so I think that would be episode 22. I'm not used to saying the episodes because I wasn't going to do that, but it seems like everybody's podcast, they say, hey, this is episode blah, blah, blah. So this is episode 23, I think. This is a professional gig, you could tell. So anyway, that's our Facebook. That's our Twitter. I did mention, I'm not sure if everybody was here at the time. You can call in your questions, comments to our 24-hour a day, 7-day a week voicemail line, and that's 530-675-4102, 530-675-4102, and chances are good we'll use your voicemail on the show, and then we can answer it or just listen to your feedback or make comment on your comment. If you'd rather just send an email, just send a message to comments@xjtalk.com. Love to hear any feedback. If you have things about the show that you don't like that we can improve, I personally would love to hear it because I'd like to build an audience and basically give you guys something that you really enjoy. So that's about it for this show, and want to thank you for showing up, for those of you that did show up. And hopefully you enjoyed Mark's interview, and now you know you have another resource for Jeep parts. Again, check the show notes for all of Mark's contact information, and check xjtalk.com for friendly people and lots of information about Jeep Cherokees. Hopefully next week we'll have another interview. I don't have anything scheduled at the moment. In fact, if you got something you'd like to say about Jeeps, just like to talk, give me just send me an email, Tony@xjtalk.com or Mutteroy@xjtalk.com. You don't have to have anything special to say. It could be just as much as getting to know you better and the things that you do with your Jeep. Everybody's important here, just like they are on xjtalk.com. So guys, until next week, next Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Time, we'll see you then, and hopefully see you on the site. Have a very good evening and the rest of the week.
Say XJ Talk is the best site in the world, and if you think you know of a better site, you. By the way, this is Big Jim 350. Bye.
Okay.